What's up, guys? What's up, Crypto Grizzly? Yeah, the 528 hertz. There's like science behind that with the stuff I'm playing. There's science. It's supposed to be good for you. Um, so yeah. Let's see who else is here. FUD. Let's F and go. J Mope. 27.7 or 28.5K. Okay. It's looking, we'll talk about it in literally 1 minute, but I mean, it's all game of probability, but based on a lot of the time frames, it does look like we could come up a little bit more. Macro still obviously really bearish. Traditional markets are down slightly though, so we'll see. Excuse me. 30-minute does look terrible. I mean, yeah, there's a little bit of conflicting things. We'll see how we'll talk about it in a second, but I was noticing the 30-minute. That is it. Is a very good point. Let's see. Let's see here. Alrighty, what is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. Welcome to the stream on this lovely Monday morning. Let's get into the analysis, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. So yeah, let's get into this. So let's see here. I think that the first thing we got to look at here, the first thing I like to, because I don't like people to watch my videos for a while. Just give them what they want, and you go. But the first thing we're looking at here is potentially a kind of reverse head and shoulders forming, and money flow coming up in the 90-minute. You also have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 yellow X. You look for the 5 yellow X's on, usually works pretty well, 30-minute and above time frames, really any time frame for that matter. But, you look for that, and then you look for some sell exhaustion, and money flow crossover there potentially could bring you up a little bit higher. Now you're coming back down to maybe retest this volume area low. You're in this volume area right now, as we can see, this volume area from 29.2 to 27.1 about. 27.15, and obviously losing that would be a bit more bearish, but the fact that we regained it is pretty bullish, and I would make me lean to say that we'd at least come, maybe test the point of control, this area or the volume area high here. A lot of them do coincide with the spiral lines relatively well. This point, if you were a good scalp trader, a good scalp off of that there yesterday would have been a potential. So yeah. And if we look at some of the lower ones here, the 30-minute, yeah, does look pretty bad. I mean, it's just the 30-minute money flow coming down. I don't know if this would necessarily bring you below this. I think losing this area is what you're looking for the bulls. Losing that area is absolutely what you're looking for the bulls. These time frames do look neutral to a bit more bearish on these low ones. That 6 minutes pretty bearish. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right there. Also, I mean, 4-hour VWAP kind of coming down. Neutral to a bit more bearish in some of these. But when you get up to your 8-hour, this is where the bulls come in. You get up to the 8-hour here, you're crossing from green to red. And that's usually a pretty good sign for the bulls. It's a relatively good sign. Out of the potential reverse head and shoulders forming, your technical target is right at the spiral line, right around 29K. Which, if you do see something, if we go on the... let's go on the daily here. If you do see a repeat of what happened, not a complete repeat of what happened here, look, you came down, you got your split RSIs, your green dot. That was a big, long pattern. I was thinking 22K out of this or something, a pump up to these areas, and then we just went crazy. But yeah, I mean, that red dot there, split RSIs, I mean, maybe a much diminished version of this, and you come up to 29, and then you kind of roll over. That could be a big potential here. What's up, UFOs rule? And the thing, too, that we could look at is coming up with a VWAP there on the 2-day. I mean, macro obviously pretty bearish. Macro would tell you we're gonna come down, especially when you get onto high time frames like the weekly. This is coming down, but Bitcoin, it's always got a trick up its sleeve. It's always got a trick up its sleeve. So I could see potentially 28, 29, those areas in the next week if we're kind of flat to more bullish this week. Nothing goes straight down. I think after that, once you come down from there, then you would get the red dot here in the 2-week and potentially come down farther. That's what it's kind of looking like. If you go on, I mean, this is, once we do kind of roll over, I think monthly, this is where you may finally see the monthly come into the red for the first time ever, maybe in the summer. And I mean, you guys know what that means. That's a good place to probably get in. So yeah, I mean, I'm DCAing. As long as the 2 weeks stays in the red, I'm DCAing in every Monday. Today's my day to buy in. So that's what I'm doing. Not buying Ethereum yet. Not buying any altcoins yet. We're getting close to that. Maybe a few months. Maybe even sooner for ETH. We'll talk about it in a second. But yeah. And yeah, we are coming down a little bit here. This is going to be the big point. If we could get down to this point and get a jump up, that would be a potentially good kind of scalp long setup. If we lose that, that's more of a, this is all this reverse head and shoulders is just a fluke, you know, kind of a fluke that we regain this area and then we're just going to head down. So yeah, what's going to happen in the future when adoption happens and there's very little Bitcoin exchanges? What the fight? Well, no, I don't think that would affect it too much. I would have to read up a little bit more on that, but yeah. What's up? Oh yeah, Sean Dillard. You've been a fan for a while. Appreciate you, man. What's up, Josh? Let's get into Ethereum a little bit here. So yeah, we're already seeing a retest of this point in control right here. Now, is this a place to go scalp long? You got a pretty nice jump off of it. Probably a lot of shorts were potentially entered this morning. Maybe we pump up a bit to scare them away. On your 30-minute, though, you are coming into the red there. When you came into the red on this one, you got a more of a kind of jump up. We've been a little flat here. You're still in this general range for ETH now. If we look at the macro a little bit, it's going to lean more bearish on the macro, obviously. But, come on, load here. If you look at the daily, split RSI's green dot, just like back here to a certain extent, money flow is coming out too, and then you just pumped up higher, to kind of that area. So that's what we're potentially looking at. I don't think you're going to make a new high here, but if Bitcoin 28, 29, you're looking at potentially, 1900 for ETH, potentially. And then, yeah, you are kind of coming back down, red dot, to retest that area right there. So let's just look at these lower time frames. What could potentially, okay, yeah. So if we could see, what you see on the lower time frames, even though probably the 10-minute would be a good one. Yeah, not this green dot, but you may see that bull div, maybe make one more of a lower low, 1810, then you see a jump off of that. That could be a nice kind of scalp along potentially. What's up, Tony Mart? Shout out to Tony Mart. And by the way, guys, we've been doing really well in the exclusive Discord. 2 new analysts, CBZ and Atlanticor, are in there as well, including myself. A lot of winning trades. A lot of people are doing really well in there. We have an excellent community, so check it out. Also, I am doing a promo with if you sign up with my link to MEXC and deposit at least $200, I will give you 1 free month in the exclusive Discord. Just shoot me a DM on Discord once you deposit with your UID. So that's what I'm looking at. Let me take a sip of coffee here. Give me 1 second. And if we look at, so here's the big thing that we're kind of waiting for. Here's when this happens. Oh, okay, yeah, it confirms in 9 days. 12-day, red dot here. To potentially come into the red or whatever. To get to this point. October 19 to, July 2020, that area. That's the sweet spot. Yeah, I mean, obviously you would have done well if you bought around here too, or even here, you would have been fine. But the sweet spot, right there. This looks freaking identical, guys. Look at this. I mean, we all, even if you don't agree with me on some things, I mean, we all could kind of agree very similar in terms of money flow and red dot. Now, if we do come down a bit, I mean, just to get to kind of map out from where we are, I don't know, from where we are to like once it gets in the red or confirms in the red, that could be at 1200, which is probably the place I would start getting into ETH, I think, around that area. When this gets in the red, DCA in for about 8 months. When would this get into the red? Let's say June. I would go June to March, maybe June to February for a DCA in for the next bull run to hopefully get to at least an $8,000 Ethereum. That's a good goal. I mean, even if it does go up higher than that, take your small fortune and get out. Yeah, Tony Mart, really appreciate it. We've been doing it excellent in there. I mean, we're not the value you guys get in that Discord is, I'm not trying to shill it, but like the value you get in there is really good. I think it's going to help you guys out a lot. I mean, if you're some degenerate gambler who's going on 100x leverage randomly for no reason, or 200x, whatever the kids are doing these days, we probably can't help you that much, but it's a really good community. AK ETH. I'm hoping, Crypto. What do you think ETH could get up to, Crypto Grizzly? What are you thinking? I think 8 is a good goal. I mean, I would probably be taking money out. 6.9. Strip trolling, DCF. Trolling. I'd probably be taking money out at 8K. I'd probably take the small fortune and run. It depends how risky you want to be. I think 8 to 12K, the higher echelons of it. I mean, if we look at like, into, say history repeats itself, 8K is here. I think this is the kind of the no-brainer place. I mean, even if you somehow come up to 18K or whatever the hell, I mean, these two places I think would be highly likely for tops. I mean, even ETH making a higher high here, this 4,000, it was only a little bit higher there, and you hit that spiral line. And so, yeah. Yeah, started to go, oh, okay, I'm even more degenerate than you, Crypto Grizzly. Yeah, 6 to 8K. Especially if, say your average buy-in spot is like 1,200 or something. I mean, I don't know, maybe it'll be lower if we really see Armageddon towards the end of the year. But say your average buy-in is around like 1,200, let's just say. Yeah, that's actually not that great of a gain of what I was expecting. If you're going up to, yeah, that's only a 500%. But still, I mean, say we get it lower, say we really crash and see Armageddon, that's a 10x, yeah. Potentially more over a 10x, yeah. If you really want to make that major guac, I kind of feel like you kind of need to, I mean, let's just look at this trajectory. Let's look at from all the way from the red dot to, let's not count the pandemic. There. That's 800, so, yeah. Also, if you count the pandemic, yeah, really low ass areas, but yeah. Yeah, 600 or whatever. Let's see. Double bottom with that trajectory. Yeah, with the first, yeah, it would be a double bottom, which, I mean, that's kind of what it was here. I mean, if history does repeat, kind of that time of double bottom. Who came up with the word wrecked? Does anybody know who coined that term? I want to know the history of wrecked. Does anybody know? I know one time Willy Woo posted, y'all must be wrecked, wrecked ED, wrecked ED. But yeah. Wrecked. Was it BitBoy? I don't know if it was. That's interesting. If it was, that term, everybody uses that term. What was, is ETH? Was ETH retested? Yeah, ETH hit the point that we were looking at. And now you're, yeah, because this is not a bad, like, long, scalp long setup, guys. This is not a, this ain't no, yeah, something of this nature. That ain't a bad scalp setup. Now, I don't, it's not, I don't usually trade this, these type of, small scalps or whatever. But that 10-minute, the split RSI is the green dot, not bad. So Blueface, the spider lines, I mean, it's on the weekly, but I mean, it would be easier for you to just like type in on YouTube how to do spider lines. I'm sure CryptoFace had a video on it. I have a lesson on it in my course. There's if you don't want to buy my course, there's probably ways you could figure it out too, like free ways. I'm sure other people have videos on it. I think even Crypto Yacht had a video on that. Let's see. You got rugged, yeah. Other thing too, I mean, let's take a look at traditional markets a teeny weeny bit. This is, yeah, I mean, I would say you're looking at, this is kind of a triple top. You're hitting, the top of this channel. I would say, other than this little fake out here, I mean, it was generally been in the channel. It would make sense to come down. Now, we've been so flat, this could bounce around a little bit more. But that daily, and I did have there's a short setup in the Discord for the daily too. And that's the trigger wave there to potentially come down. What's up, Devo Vexed Crypto? Yes, this one's coming down right there. But yeah, S&P 500 overall, I mean, once this confirms 5 hours, unless this goes away, I would think you're heading down to lead back to at least under 400, 390 or something in all likelihood. That's coming out there. Other thing too, the DXY is showing some significant amount of strength off of this jump off of 100 here, bull div or whatever on the weekly. And the thing too with the DXY is, all right, my trajectory for this could potentially be, you're about to get a green dot there. I mean, if we repeat, I think you might be able to repeat something like this guy, man. I mean, I don't know why. Like, people would say, call me crazy, but there's a big fib level too, right at 128, 130. Call me crazy, guys, but I feel like a lot would point to this kind of this trajectory, this kind of area here. I don't know if it's going to go that high, but that would be into October. I mean, we're in that like slow moving kind of bear market for traditional markets. And don't forget, this could keep pumping up even after traditional markets bottom out. So we could go higher here potentially. And USDT is interesting too, because, you're looking at, here's where, in terms of money flow, right there is where the bull run essentially started in a lot of ways. You would have been a little bit late to the game in October of 2020. You would have missed out on some stuff, but yeah, that's where it's kind of started. I think that ultimately for USDT, next red dot here could be the good place. Once this confirms in the weekly, that could be sometime June, July. That's probably when I'm going to start DCing into ETH. That's when I'm going to start getting into ETH, I think. Where could this go? Maybe here, maybe even 14% if things really get ugly into the end of the year. We'll see what happens with that. But there could be some more downward trajectory there. Don't want to look at Doge just yet. But obviously, ETH, Bitcoin, um, potentially could, it's putting up a fight, but I think inevitably you're going to get down to here and then even down to these levels. That's what I'm thinking. Um, what's up, FOMO? Oh yeah, I didn't mention the trading course. I'm gonna add a lesson on that with some high volume or volume profile stuff, and we are going to be moving it. I've been talking with my web developer. We are going to be moving it to a different site that's even better. So I'm really excited about that because I had it like on WordPress before, and just WordPress, there's always issues, plugins crash. So we're moving it to a better thing. So we're working on that. I'm pretty excited about that. We should be done hopefully in a week or two. But yeah. Um, Sub DCF. Let's see. I'm kind of convinced we bottomed on Bitcoin. I'm not saying no retracements, but I think the real. Ooh, okay. The real. That's an interesting theory, bro. That's an interesting theory. You were originally more bearish though, DCF. You were more in this trajectory, right? For altcoins to really. Are you changing your view? I'm trying to remember. Unless I don't want to put no words in your mouth, but you're originally more to down. But I mean, I don't know. What are you thinking in terms of trajectory here? So now, what are we doing? A low time? Yeah, we're getting a little bit of relief. Kind of as I've been saying, a little bit of relief here. Um, right now, if you guys are curious, I do have a long in on Bitcoin. That's a trade. I'm not going to tell you exactly where I went from or where I'm taking profits, but that is a trade in the Discord. Got stopped out in profit on my Bitcoin and ETH longs. I was playing around with house or shorts, excuse me. I was playing around with house money, um, kind of because I'm adding to positions and setting the stop losses at lower areas. You just play around with house money, and the fees on MEXC are really low. Where even if you get stopped out, the market fees are low. So, and with my link, I think it's a lot of people's links. I don't want to like be, but with my link, you definitely get no, for now, unless the site changes it, no limit fees on MEXC. Check that out if you guys are interested. That's people ask me what exchange I've been using since Bybit kind of, it requires KYC now. MEXC is my number one because the fees are low. It's a good community. I talk to them. They seem like a good company. I mean, I can't promise you that they're not going to pull no FTX. I mean, anything could happen. I don't think that's going to happen. BitGet is also very good. I'm wearing my BitGet shirt they sent me right here, messy jersey. And they're doing a good promo too with the airdrop. If you hold some stuff, check out my link. They set it up with my link there. So those are the two exchanges I'm using right now. A third is BingX. I kind of got annoyed with their sales rep I was talking to because they were a little bit misleading with one of the promos. So I just got a little annoyed. I'm not saying they're like a bad exchange, but I do like MEXC number one, then BitGet. BingX would be a third. People talk about FAIRDESK, or actually FEMEX, excuse me. FEMEX is good too. Their trading volume is a little bit lower. Their management's a little, I don't know, adrift, adroit or whatever. So that's why I don't use them as much anymore, or I haven't used them in months really, FEMEX. But BitGet and MEXC are the two. Yeah, FEMEX isn't bad. Yeah, the only exchange, interesting, Crypto Grizzly. MEXC is good. If you like FEMEX, you'd probably like MEXC. MEXC is pretty good. There's more trading volume on MEXC, but I mean, if you're, unless you're some big baller, it shouldn't really affect you. Like everything crashes, real estate stocks, crypto, like real. Oh my God, man, you're DCF. You are in Great Depression mode. It's possible, yeah. If we really go into Great Depression, that's gonna be a nightmare. I'm gonna take an intermission, guys. I'm gonna take a 5-minute break. I will be right back. All right, guys, I am back. Thank you for waiting. Appreciate you guys. Let's see. DCF. I had Bitcoin making a lower low, but it's held above 25K for too long. A clear sign this isn't the bubble pop market bears were expecting. I was one of those bears. Okay. So, yeah, that's the double bottom pattern, DCF. That's definitely the double bottom pattern. So you're kind of changing your view. Interesting. We're back up to this area. So, well, we did, all right, so we did test 20 to 200 right here, which is the big point. That's essentially, I think the area you're referring to. And if we do lose that, that's going to be more bearish. Now, if you look at, so the main trajectory that I think one of, let's actually go to my Bitstamp chart. So on the weekly here, this is, your 400 where it would be if we hit it, towards the end of the year, September. This is your 500 down here. If you repeat this area, where would this bring you to? Essentially, okay, that's the lowest. Well, if you manipulate this a little bit, that's right there. That's your 400, which is going to be a big place for a potential double bottom 16 into the end of the year. That would be, similar to almost this double bottom, like a higher high there, which it is a decent probability. I do think as you come into a recession, as S&P 500 continues to bleed, most likely this would come down unless, there's more banking FUD. I want to take a quick look at speaking of banking stuff, a quick look at the KRE right here. And let's take a look. Showing a little bit of strength. I think if this comes down farther, it will create a double bottom here. You are getting snake eyes on the weekly right now. Obviously, these snake eyes didn't give you too much. It's rolled over, but these snake eyes, man, might be a little bit better. So that's, as that kind of recovers, shows maybe a little bit of strength here. You might see less of like a need to get into Bitcoin. And as this sees more strength, you may see people just going to the dollar and depositing more money into banks and selling traditional markets and crypto potentially. But, I think ultimately too, like DCF, what you were saying, altcoins bleeding with the regulatory FUD, we could see this still come down to like maybe this area, 200 billion, 180 or something, maybe even lower, maybe 150. And Bitcoin could only just revisit 17K or 16K. Do you think that's possible? I'm going to enter a short on ETH between 1860 and 1870. Let's take a look at that, Mr. Hart teaches. Yeah, so I went long on Bitcoin a little while ago. I gave you guys the scalp setup here. I didn't take it because I was streaming. But I gave you guys the scalp setup here. The jump up from that. This would be the place to probably lock in some profits on that potential scalp. And and let's see, what was the point you wanted to short again? 1860. Yeah, I mean, you could come up a little bit higher than that, man. But for a scalp, potentially, that's an area. With the 90-minute here, just like on Bitcoin too, 1, 2, 3, 4 yellow X's, that money flow crossover, you could be up higher too. Potentially. Let's look at Bitcoin. Yeah, so we're jumping a bit now. Not even down to that volume area low. So we're in that new place. I think you could get up to 28 here, as I've been saying. I mean, if you form kind of a head and shoulder or reverse head and shoulders here, your technical target's going to be at this spiral line right at 29, which is definitely possible there. Waiting for the DXY to reach the 200 EMA. On the 15-minute, I don't even look at those. I don't look at that type of moving average, but yeah. I mean, you're talking about this 103 or something. I don't know. We'll see. Oh yeah, Matic. Woohoo! We gotta take a look at that. I think I missed some other altcoins. If you guys wanted to look at. Oh, it went away. Hold on. Pesky crypto. This looks bad, man. Alts look like they're about to fall off a cliff, some of these guys. I mean, let's look at the 2-week. Not too good. I mean, nothing looks good here. I think this is going to be the next one that really gets killed. I mean, altcoins typically do go down like 95% in bear markets. This went down at 90 so far. I mean, a double bottom potentially is in the cards. This area is big. 40 to 50 cents, I think, is huge. After that, I mean, if you were to go down 95, 15, I mean, people are going to laugh at this, but 15 cents is kind of that point. We'll play it by ear. We'll see. We'll see how it moves. You know what I mean? 53 cents, yeah, doable. It's more about, it doesn't really matter where price is. It's just more about buying it at the, August, September, if we're here. I mean, even if you do go crash another 50% down to 15 or something from 35, I mean, it's still not the worst place to probably get in. Matic, I think I'm going to get in, in a few months as Bitcoin dominance rises. I don't think it's going to be it's definitely not one of my favorite cryptos, but I think I'm definitely going to get into it. I think there's going to be a lot of upside potential. Let's see. Somebody else wanted me to look at something. Dumpy, Alex. Link. Oh, yeah, you wanted me to look at Link, Crypto Grizzly. Yeah, let's look at Link. Yeah, this is like the most sideways thing I've seen in a while. I mean, can you say you're forming a head and shoulders? Not really. It's just a parallel channel. Ultimately, this has looked the same as it's looked since June of 22. I mean, it's coiling up, and I think one trajectory would be into, probably not going to take that long, but once you break down out of this $3, these potential areas, I think are going to be significant. I think that's the place to kind of get in. I mean, it's either going to break up or break down. If you break up, $14. If you break down, probably around $3, $4, something of that nature. But yeah, this is like molasses. This just isn't doing nothing. How about Cardano? Yeah, Link is the, I don't know what they're doing with Link. Link is just like, it fell off the earth. Cardano, yeah, I mean, same as what we've seen. I just think the general trajectory for a lot of these is going to be a lower low. That's the thing. Maybe Bitcoin doesn't make a lower low, but Bitcoin goes to 17, 16K in September, let's say. But these go to like 60, these go down, let's see. This would go down 60% to get to, 15 cents. Say a lot of alts go down 60%. What does Bitcoin have to go down to get to, just the double bottom? Only has to go down 40%. So Bitcoin could go down 40%. A lot of alts can go down 60%. ADA stood at lows. ADA wasn't as ADA was not as sideways, but yeah. No, ADA went down 98% and came back. Almost 99% there. I mean, that was the black swan. 98% exactly. And came all the way back. And what would your return been? Yeah, it's about a 40x or whatever. If we do get lower for this, say you get down to 16, 15, you make it, that's a 20x. There could be some good potential here. I mean, I think apathy will really set in. Like major apathy where just nobody cares at all about Cardano anymore in a few months if you get down to 15 cents. Especially with the slow bleed. Everybody would be thinking it's dead. Let's take a look at some of the headlines. This was interesting. This Paul Tudor Jones, Fed is unrated stocks to finish the year higher from here. That doesn't happen historically. Usually after the Fed pauses and after the Fed pivots is the bottom. What he's saying, he thinks something different is going to happen. I mean, maybe with all the money printed, that's where he's coming from, but he's thinking something different is going to happen here. We also have the debt ceiling too, which if history repeats itself from 2011, that will dump market significantly. Bitcoin dumped then. I mean, that was 2011. Bitcoin was around. But, I mean, S&P 500, that dumped like 20%. Then it came back. We look at, I don't know, Fox Business. Drowning credit card crunch from chronic inflation. I mean, a lot of things are pointing to us going into a recession. It's taking its time, but a lot of things are pointing to that. Michael Bloomberg sharing advice. 94 billion, yeah, it's probably double what it was a few years ago because of inflation. Yeah, I'm not going to look at this. It's probably DCA into the S&P 500. That's probably what it is. That's interesting. Usually towards the end of the pivot starts bull run. Yeah. You know, I think we are not going to see, in terms of a pivot, I mean, this is obviously what the Fed cares about for a pivot. They didn't pivot over here in October 2022. They didn't pivot there. They're still raising rates. You know, you would probably have to really get them to start to pivot. I think you would have to at least come down to probably 3,200, 3,300, like pre-pandemic numbers, I would think. And then you would probably see them start to pivot. But, you know, this is if you play out like a typical recession, you'd see them start to pivot, but then we'd make a lower low potentially here or something, you know, high twos. And that would be, you know, your 43%. That would be not as bad of a recession as 08 or 01 in terms of how far we came down. So that's what we got to look at there. I'm curious about what's the ticker? Is it still negative for the? Now we're positive on the day. Okay. And Bitcoin's coming up a little bit more as I've been expecting here. Trying to fight back a little bit. A little choppy there. Now you came back and then yeah, doesn't look too good in the 6 minute, but we'll see here. 2,800. Yeah, I mean that's a big area. That's kind of like, you know, when you come down to like, if you come down this low, you know, that's kind of a no-brainer where, unless you really think the U.S. is done, but that's kind of the no-brainer place. You know, you're gonna get something, even if it's double top into, you're gonna get some decent return over the next couple of years, compound interest, whatever, you know. The thing too, let's look at Bitcoin dominance. Showing a little bit of strength in the short term. I think it's only a matter of time before it's interesting how the monthly's in the green by a good amount, and the 3 weeks not even. I feel like that would be more bullish for it. 2 weeks not even in that's interesting. 2 weeks not even in the green. This was the place here. This is what you got to look at here. Because, yeah, oh man, this is a good find, guys. This is a good find. Circle how it was. Look, you're waiting for probably the next red dot to confirm. You're waiting for these RSIs to get a little bit higher, kind of like that. And you're waiting for the next significant pump, just like there. You're waiting for that, and that would bring you to mid to high 50s, and that's where you want to start getting into alts. Because look, or this coming into the green, that would be DCA into, what period was this for? So this was July 2019 all the way until February 21. Man, this could be, because we're in, oh man, okay, that was June, and we're not far off. So if you wanted to start DCAing in, you know, June, July, and then go to February for alts, that's your big place. And I think this is going to make a lower high. That's what I think. I think this is going to make a lower high right here. And probably August, yeah, I mean, maybe the earliest, you know, we're almost into probably earliest July, August, into February, March next year to DCA into alts. That's where the life-changing money could potentially be made. NFTs too. There's a few I'm looking at, like a mutant ape. If I want to be a complete degen, bored ape, but we'll see. The other one, Neo Tokyo, I was looking at. Somebody was telling me about Alex Becker. I think he's a cool guy. A lot of good advice on his YouTube channel. I mean, worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I think he's got a good shot. I wouldn't buy it right now. I'd wait till this dominance comes up a little bit higher. But the Neo Tokyo, I'm keeping an eye on. You get access to his community or whatever the hell with it as well, which is pretty significant in this day and age. So many like online communities, stuff of that nature. So yeah. Give me one second. The other thing I want to look at right now is, let's look at Cardano ETH. Is this doing what? Wrong time. Well, I was looking at the Binance hype. Yeah. This is like a tough one. Like I've been kind of thinking this could outperform ETH for a bit. I did convert a little bit of ETH into Cardano because of this. It's kind of 50-50 here. It's tough to say. I do think since it's bled so much, you're due for something like this, like what you saw in 2020 here. You know, I don't know if you're going to get that big of a, I mean, something like that, maybe a jump up. Potentially could be the bottom for Cardano ETH. But yeah. Hit 1034 before consolidating. Dixie to hit 1034. Oh yeah, that's that point right there, essentially. Yeah. It probably would. Yeah, it probably would react to that point, I would think. I mean, with this weekly, I mean, that's pretty bullish right there. That's what typically you see at beginning of recessions too. Consumer debt very high. So I mean, there's a lot that. Oh, that's the breaking news. Mortgage demand lowest level since okay. So I believe that would be. I'm not an expert on real estate, but I believe that's more bearish for real estate in general. Let's take a look at the real estate chart here on Vanguard. So, I mean, yeah, that monthly, those EMA, first time since '08 here. Look at those EMAs turning gray. And then kind of the no-brainer to buy real estate. Look, next green dot. I mean, that could happen pretty soon here. I would say, okay, if it does happen really quick and you come up a little bit, I would wait for the next one, wait for the crash or whatever. And that was the pandemic right there. Kind of a no-brainer to get in over there. Now on that one, that's the kind of the one to get out. Even you could you could even do some good kind of swing trades potentially for just looking at the monthly on some things. I mean, this is a good indication that you're probably going to come down a bit here. A 2 week kind of in between. I mean, money flow generally coming out. I mean, it does look similar to kind of that area. Weekly, here's where, yeah, well. It's a little choppy here. 10-day maybe. Money flow trying to come out. Some vibes over to kind of that '08 area. I mean, it probably won't be that bad, but if you follow that general trajectory into, could be even middle 2024, traditional markets, real estate kind of bottom out. Did this bottom out? Yeah, that was March. Could be a double bottom with the pandemic, I'm thinking. That could be, because how much would that's another 30. Could be a double bottom with that. And then that would be interesting because so this is what happens a lot. I've seen, this is interesting. This is what happens a lot. So when you have the big drop down or whatever, like this, a lot of times you see things get close to it, but they don't quite get to the bottom there. Like you get that other shot to get in like close to the bottom, and then, you know what I mean? Then it goes higher potentially. That's what I'm kind of thinking here. So if you wanted to get into real estate, you know, either buying real estate, I mean, it's part of it's really just how much you're willing to get somebody to barter to come down. Some of that's negotiation tactic, but you know, that area right there, I think. And when can you see that? Like I mapped it out, you know, probably sometime in 2024. You know, file your tax return in 2024, and then apply for some mortgages, buy some real estate. Not financial advice. I don't know, but I think that's ultimately the place where probably enough foreclosures will happen. That's where you'll be seeing probably the more opportunity potentially. What's up? How's it feels? Appreciate you, man. Smash the like button, guys, if you enjoy the content. Check out the exclusive Discord. A lot of people are really liking it. We added 2 new analysts. We are doing phenomenal in there. Definitely not going to keep prices this low. Only so many slots open at the price right now. Also, if you guys want a free month in the exclusive Discord, sign up with my link to MEXC and deposit at least $200, and then shoot me a DM on Discord with your UID. I will get you sorted. I think you guys are going to like it. Hope you do. So, yeah. ILV. Man, I haven't looked at this in a minute. Is there a chart maybe with more data here? I did do a trade. I remember on Paul Barron, I shouted out like a trade setup for this back when it first came out or whatever. I got a nice jump with this up to like from 7 to something there back in. Yeah. Oh man. If you do see, you could, I mean, obviously something like this could go 0, but if you do see the next green dot here, that could be, you could give it a shot there. I'd have to look at the fundamentals on this. I don't know. Is there anything even happening with this crap? I don't know. I mean, what's it down? It's down 97. Yeah. I mean, yeah, this would be, if it's going to come back, I mean, usually, I've never really seen anything recover from 99%. I'm sure it could, but you're on thin ice here. This could be one that goes to 0. If you do make a lower low, then you're kind of could be in trouble here. I don't know. What do you think? How's it feels? Is there enough fundamentals to bring this back to life? I mean, what was the this one used to be? It's not a video game one, but yeah, this had a little bit of strength, and now we're just, because you came down 96. This could make a lower low, potentially 98 or whatever. Because that's a fierce. Yeah, you came up that fierce rejection. Now you're now at 50% there. Mortgage of it is 130 in the market today for putting a house up for sale. Sean, I mean, man, tough question. The thing with selling a house too is like sometimes you get lucky and you get some sucker who will outbid, and somebody who's paying more. You know, sometimes it's like that. I think it ultimately in a long-term perspective too. I mean, I don't know. Are you trying to rent out that house? Like, what would you be doing if you didn't sell it? I mean, I think ultimately, yeah. I think this is kind of getting towards the end of like the opportunity to sell at higher prices. I do think the real estate market will continue to bleed based on what I'm looking at. So I don't think it's a bad place to get out. I mean, you do have closing costs, you have other fees, other crap you got to worry about. You know, I'm not an complete expert. Don't take this as advice. Like, I could be wrong here, but you know, if it makes sense for you to sell, if there's another reason aside from, you know, if you're going to make money on it, you know, if it's, you don't want to deal with it anymore, you know, if you have some relief selling it, then I think it would be not a bad idea. And then try to get back in probably when they cut interest rates, when they cut interest rates, you know, in 2024 or whatever. I think that would be kind of the no-brainer to eventually get back in. You know, based on what analysis I just showed you. Most okay game in the crypto world right now, so I think we'll bounce sometime. Yeah, it's possible how it feels. I would look at it again in a few months. You know, it could be one of my you know, riskier buys, but yeah, it's one I haven't looked at in a while. But yeah, it must be a small house, 280. That sounds like, was it some shack somewhere? You got to be somewhere where it's cheaper. Yeah, 280. That's all such a low price nowadays. Well, I mean, certain area. I live in Miami, so everything's expensive. But in certain areas, price you can't get. You might be able to get something not too bad for that price. But yeah, it's real estate's, you know, it depends. Location is important too. I mean, yeah. Arizona, okay. We were the landlord for my mom. She only pays like 350 a month. She just passed away. Oh, sorry to hear that. I'm trying to think here. I mean, do you have to pay like taxes on it if you were to sell it, like capital gains taxes, that type of stuff? That could be part of a factor too. I mean, if you were to sell it, I don't know. Don't take this as advice. I don't know. I'm no real estate expert, believe me. If you were to sell it and then I'd say if you were to sell it and then you waited a year from now to buy another house, I'd give it a 70 to 80% chance that you'll be able to buy something new for cheaper. Like I'd give it like a 70, 80% chance that that house would probably be worth less in a year from now. And also a 70 or 80% chance that interest rates will be lower than they are in a year from now. You get what I'm saying? So you could ascend, but you got closing costs and other crap you got to deal with. So I don't know. But if you were to buy a new one in a year, you'd probably be able to get a lower interest rate, number one, and you'd be able to, the market would be down, I would think. It could be wrong. I don't know. Please don't take this as any type of financial advice. I don't know. But if I was in that position, I would factor out closing costs. I don't know how much that would be. That may be able to offset you. But I would think sell and then try to buy something else in a year. You might be able to get something else that's better for the same price in a year, and your interest rate is probably going to be lower if the Fed pivots by then. So that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, closing costs are 15%. That's another, you know, that's significant too. That's what kind of sucks about real estate. A lot of people too, I've been reading about, like, you're not able to make, with the higher interest rates and everything, renting stuff out, you're not able to make as much money as you were kind of in the heyday of it, like a year or two ago before they raised rates. Yeah, I would think, I mean, it's tough to say, man. Like, nobody's got no crystal ball. I mean, if you're worried about being able to make those payments too and all that type of stuff financially, and worried about, you know, maybe you won't have a, you know, maybe all the other things, then I would definitely sell. But if, you know, if that amount of money isn't a ton to you, then maybe keep it. I don't know. Um, yeah, closing costs are kind of a rip off with all that 15%. I mean, that's a lot. That's probably like, what's 15% of 290? I mean, could you list it and see like how much people are willing to pay for it if you get any bites, you know? It'd be 15K. The thing too is like, you know, if we looked at, I'm just curious about, I mean, obviously you're into Bitcoin too. I mean, even investing, I mean, the Gen move, sell that and put it into some Bitcoin. I wouldn't put all into all that 300K into Bitcoin at once, but if you were to DCA in for 8 months, you know, I think you would probably do better than you would, you know, just renting it out in terms of an ROI. I'm curious about how's gold or Bitcoin looking. That's a thing too, because you could get one jump up for gold up to here. Yeah, you might get. That's why one more high for gold Bitcoin, then that's it. You know what I mean? One more, and then convert your freaking Bitcoin into gold there. That's what I'm probably gonna do. Convert your gold into altcoins, be a full-on degen. Hmm. Let's look at. Oh, let's actually. I just want to look at standard gold chart. Um, it does look like this should come down as the Dixie comes up. Triple top. You should have a summer low down a bit. It'll hold up well, I think, but you might come down. It looks. I mean, I wouldn't. Gold is too slow moving this short or do anything with this, but yeah, I do think you would come down a bit into the summer. This is a slow. Gold and silver are slow movers. Well, not really silver, but gold to silver down to 24. Yeah. Could come down a bit into the summer. Probably see a little jump here. That monthly looks damn good though. That monthly, I mean, that's for next year or two. Yeah, he should come. I mean, you may form. You're probably at least gonna get to 30 something, and into 2025. Lake Havasu. I don't even know where that is. I've been to Arizona once. Not a lot of supply housing, strong demand. We figure out. Yeah, I mean, it depends how, Sean. I mean, it depends. That's what I was thinking. I mean, it depends how risky you want to be, but a diversified portfolio of altcoins, if you know what you're doing, buying it at the end of the year, once you kind of see that final Bitcoin dominance, that final rise for Bitcoin dominance, we all know you could get, I mean, just buying, let's just say buying ETH, conservatively buying ETH, if you were to put, I don't know, say you get 250 out of that, 250, you get a 10x for ETH, let's say you get a 10x, 2.5 million. I mean, it's degenerate. It is degenerate. It's highly speculative. It's risky. I'm not telling you to do any of this crap. This is not financial advice, but you got some good odds. You know what I mean? You got some good odds. World of Wizards. Yeah, you did miss some ETH and Bitcoin updates, but I go back to it. So, yeah. I mean, for a stack that big, like a price of 250K, I mean, I don't know, I would probably put at least half of that into Bitcoin even at the end of the year. You know what I mean? I'd probably still put a lot just into standard Bitcoin. It depends I don't know your net worth or any of that shit, but yeah. Again, don't take many of my advice. I don't know, man. I just don't want to be like I just don't want to be wrong because it's just you just don't know at the end of the day. Life is all a gamble. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. Showing a little bit of strength here. I do think just ultimately we're probably going to form a reverse head and shoulders, and you may break up to 29 here. Could be a false herring, false thing. I did show you guys earlier the potential ETH, scalp long. That could be one that you could run up for a while, potentially. And then, let's see. So we looked at ETH Bitcoin. Other one I wanted to take let's look at, so people obviously want to know, like, when should you get into, people love Matic too. And I like Matic. Not as much as some of you guys do, but this looks the same as the damn Matic chart. Yeah. Everything would point to at least, like, the next few months, I would say. Like, if you were to, everything points to, like, end of summer for alts. Yeah, Sean, like if you were to sell the house and get that money by, I don't know how long it would take you to get the money, but if you were to start DCing into the end of summer into early 2024, yeah, you'd have some good odds. 20K to invest, thinking 4 alts and 2 of are going to be LIV and Filecoin. Oh man, personally, I would be diversifying that more into more than 4 alts. I would buy probably 8 to 10, if not even more, because alts, you got to be more diversified. I'm thinking I might buy up to 20 or 30. Probably at least 8 to 10. So yeah, because some of them are going to do so well, others will do nothing. But I think 20K, that's a good number to diversify up to, into a lot of alts into the end of the year. I mean, 20K, if you get a 10x, hell, you get a 20 or 30x. I mean, it's probably not enough to become a millionaire. You'd probably be really lucky. But if you got a 30x, that's 600K. After taxes, you're left with 100K. So that's not bad. I'm just kidding. Left with half of that, essentially. 300 or 400K. Oh, yeah. Airweave. Paul Barron, I believe, likes Airweave better. I'm not the biggest expert on all these alts, but I would probably buy both, honestly. I would buy Airweave and Filecoin would definitely be on my list. This guy, it's kind of, let's see something here. 92%. I think you can come down lower. I think if alts really bleed, because this is a double buy. I mean, alts have gotten decimated. Look at this. You're not even above your December low. Bitcoin was at 17K here. I mean, you're not. Here's 95. I think you could come down lower. This point's a sweet spot for this. I should write down a list of alts that I kind of like. Let me write down, let's do that on this live stream. Let me write down a list of alts that I kind of like. And let's go Pulse Chain. When's that coming out? What's the latest with Pulse Chain? Crypto Main. Shout out to Crypto Main. 200K out of your investments, yeah. That's a good goal. 20K to 10x. That's a pretty good goal. AR is one. Filecoin is one that I kind of like. Zcash, as long as it doesn't go to 0 in a few months. Zcash, Monero, I'd probably buy both of those. Diversify. So that's 4 right there. Airweave, Filecoin, Zcash, Monero. I think I would definitely put a little. Cosmos is big on that list. That's one I'm definitely going to get into. AVAX. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's already 6. Let's see. Let me look at the CoinMarketCap list. Let's see here. So, let's see. Solana, I'd probably pass on. Polygon, I'd probably put some in. So, Cardano, maybe. Cardano, maybe. It's almost too high of a market cap for it to be worth it. Polkadot, I might pass on. I'd have to look at how that looks at the time. So, when we get here, this is kind of the sweet spot. So, Chainlink, let me write that one down. I already got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I already got 9 on this list. And I think that 9 is a pretty good, if you wanted 9 or 10, that's a pretty good amount. Seller, I'd probably pass on. ICP, maybe. That's a maybe. I got to see what that looks like in a few months. Yeah, part of this is going to be seeing how the technical analysis looks at the same time. HPAR is probably going to be on that. HPAR's got some good fundamentals. That's probably going to be on that list. ARB, I think there's some good fundamentals there. That could be on that list. VeChain is a maybe. VeChain is definitely a maybe. And then you get down, I mean, there's a lot of, I'm just saying Stacks is a maybe if that really comes down. Yeah, there's a lot here. I'll write a few. Okay, Algos definitely could be on that. I think a lot of these, it depends how it looks. You know what I mean? A lot of these, it depends how it looks. Phantom could be a maybe as well. Aave, let's write that one down. Aave's got some decent fundamentals. Stacks, maybe. That's definitely a maybe. You got to see what we're looking at. People haven't talked about this. Conflux, that could definitely be a maybe. I got to read more about that. Yeah, do you mean Flux? Do you mean Conflux? CFX, let's write that. Could be. Axie Infinity could be a maybe. Render could be a maybe. You'd have to look. Oh, we finally found Pepe's. Pepe. And that's probably it. I mean, yeah, Zcash is this low. I'm trying to think what else could be interesting on here. Kava, people have talked about. Loopring could be a maybe. Loopring and Zill could be maybes. Could be a maybe. ZIL. That's about it. If you were to Engine Coin, okay, that's one people have talked about. It could be a possibility. At this point, maybe Anchor people have Anchor, not bad. That's pretty much it. This had some good fundamentals at one point, audio. And after this point, I think it's just the risk is too high for it to be worth it. Now, let me count how many I've written down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So about 23 or 24 I wrote down so far. Wrote down Airweave. Gala, people talk. So maybe throw in a couple AI ones potentially. Yeah, Flux, people like. Rose, yeah. I would throw in a few more, maybe 5, 6, 7 more. You have 30. The maximum I would probably buy is 30, but that's a diversified portfolio, and that's a portfolio that overall could give you 20, 30x potentially. AMP is the one crypto face you always talk about. It looks like it's going to 0. Oh, that's high. ILV. Out of the top 150, you're kind of, Yeah, you're kind of really pushing it. Helium, that's the, I forget what happened with that. Something happened with that. Cardano, yeah, maybe. Let's see. Joe Rogan fills it. Why did the... Interesting. Sign for metaverse tokens, maybe. Yeah. You're usually close when they say that. I don't know. He had somebody on who said that. Talked about the metaverse. He's probably talking about more about Facebook or, well, that's starting to come back. Let me look at, let's just look at the ticker on, oh. Okay, we're up on the NASDAQ. Nothing can stop the NASDAQ. And Bitcoin's probably following to a certain extent, yeah. A little jump there. Let's look at a couple of the traditional. Still somewhat pumping, yeah. Interesting. Coming out on the 12-day. And we know this is going to have a pullback at some point. It's just a matter of when. I mean, this looks really overheated. I mean, that 2-day, that could be it, kind of, because that 245 could be it. We'll see, though. How's Apple doing? It's probably up today. Okay, not really compared to that. That could be the high for it. Yeah. I mean, maybe you could pump up a little bit more, hit this area. So I'm kind of thinking is the higher of the range. Double top right there, kind of forming on the NASDAQ. You might get a nice bear div on the daily pretty soon, you know. Highest I could kind of see is this area, double top there. That's what I'm kind of thinking. That's the highest range. So yeah. XRP, oh man. XRP is like too high of a market cap, I think, for it to be really like worth it. This is what I'm looking at right here. I mean, we're looking at kind of this pattern. It's already playing out exactly. I mean, that was 77. I don't know if you're going to repeat that, but you could kind of come down. I think 17 cents would be a decent trajectory for this. You know, potentially like these 20 cents, 17 cents. That'd be a potential area. Worst case scenario is probably double bottom with the pandemic low. I'm kind of thinking the no-brainer here, if you're into XRP, is to get in when this goes red, DCA in for that kind of period. So yeah. Anyone concerned that quantum computers can crack using short? I don't even know what you're talking about there, Sean. XRP $12 coming. Oh man. 12 cents coming in. Oh, $12. Wait. Yeah, $12. What market cap would that be? That'd be pretty wild. People like XRP. I mean, Nvidia. So, bear div on the 3-day. That looks really overheated on that 2-day. I mean, I think you may have a little bit of gas left in the tank, but you know, even if you do come up higher, you're gonna probably form a double top and come down. I think that, I mean, this could be bottomed out. You came down a lot. You know, you came down, you know, past your well, actually, you didn't come down to that was the pandemic. You could come down farther here. You could retest pay. This is a volatile puppy. This is a weird one. So be very careful with this one. If you made money with this, count your blessings. Other thing, Crypto Grizzly, I wanted to talk about. You'll like this. ExxonMobil and Chevron. That weekly looks, I've been saying it a while, but that weekly kind of looks like bear div on the monthly too. I think you might be done with this as you go into the recession and, you know, come down significantly or something. It'll probably hold up better than a lot of other things, but, you know, 8-hour, you know, bear money flow crossover. Chevron as well. Chevron looks even worse. Double blood diamond. Oh, and money flow crossover. That could be it for Chevron and Exxon. Well, nothing goes up forever, and then we'll see more deflation. We'll see, you know, commodities come down. Yeah, oil holds up the best. Not as good as gold and silver, I don't think, in the recession, but yeah. Cattle 2, double bot, double top from 2015. Yeah, red dot there. It's going to confirm pretty soon. A couple weeks. I think as the Dixie rises, we'll see Chevron and ExxonMobil finally come down. Oil, OSO, USO. That's the right one. Let me look at the other one. Yeah, I mean, still generally looks like it wants to come down farther. I think as you come into recession, this will bleed. 50, I think. XOM at 80. Yeah, that's a good place potentially. Pre-pandemic. Oh, this is crashing even before, yeah. Quantum computers will crack Bitcoin. We'll see. We'll see. That's why you need Ethereum. I mean, we all know ETH is probably going to outperform it. You know, we all know the most money is probably going to be made out of a blue chip. If you consider ETH a blue chip, the more money is going to be made in ETH. What's the latest with this? When will we find out a... Okay, yeah, we're going to raise the ceiling. When will we find out the, like, consensus with this? Because I think this could be... If it's like 2011, you're going to come down significantly. Yeah, this is a side where, yeah, we're kind of in this... You're probably going to be choppy here a little bit, and then you could break up potentially. 29 is like the high side. If NASDAQ goes up more, yeah, 29 is the high side I'm seeing. That potential. I think after that, you're going to kind of... Then your reality is going to hit. Because good sign that we're, you know, bouncing off the 200 pretty well. But, yeah. But like I said, guys, and this is the last thing I kind of want to wrap up with. The Bitcoin dominance, keep an eye on the 2 week here. I think it was the, yeah. Keep an eye where I see, yeah. Keep an eye for the next red dot and the, yeah, because that was the top right there. We just keep an eye for the next jump up. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna get going. Really appreciate you guys. Check out the exclusive Discord down below if you want some awesome trade setups by me and 2 other analysts. We've been killing it in there. And let's see what else there is. If you guys want 1 free month, want to try it out for 1 free month, if you use my link to trade on MEXC and deposit at least $200, I'll give you 1 free month in the Discord. So check it out. Also, BITGET is pretty good. I'm wearing the shirt. They're doing a good promo as well. For just you guys on this stream, if you deposit $200 in either BITGET or MEXC with my link, I'll give you 1 free month. In the Discord, just shoot me a DM with your UID, and that will get you sorted. My course is really good if you guys want to learn how to use Market Cipher, some good trading strategies, all that type of stuff. And yeah, guys, really appreciate you guys. Leave a like. Oh, and in the Discord, only for the premium people, I will be on tonight at 6 p.m. For a voice chat. I'm going to talk to you guys, and you can ask me questions. We have a lot of fun in there, so check it out. So yeah, links down below for everything. Thanks, guys. Shout out to all you guys. Tony Mark, Crypto Grizzly. Yeah, have a good one, guys.